If you're on the death march to the top in any kind of endeavor, you really want to do everything in your power to make sure that your edge does not get beveled. Do you understand? You do not want to ever bevel your edge. And one of the fastest ways to bevel it is to self-reflect and stop and introspect. It's just a fact. I don't make the fucking rules. I just report the rules. Because when you are in an ascended state of being and you're taking swift and vicious action, okay? When you stop to try to analyze yourself or understand your inner workings, you know what I'm saying? Like you're trying to understand the inner workings of a grandfather clock. So you start fucking looking at the gears, you start picking apart things. What happens is you inevitably, when you get to know yourself too well, okay? And this is a huge problem. Like when a man dives so deep in his own psyche and analyzes every which way and tries to understand the truth about how he's made, his very constitution. What is that substance made of? First of all, every great philosopher who's done this has had a psychotic break. I want to say Jung did. I know Freud did. I even think Nietzsche drove himself insane. Self analysis eventually will literally blow a fucking fuse in your head. That's number one. Okay. Now, you could argue, you could play devil's advocate and argue that that eventually strengthened the philosophy of the said individual once they got through it. But let's be real. Most of us ain't fucking engraving our philosophy on stone tablets. Most of us are playing the game of capitalism. And in the game of capitalism, introspection ain't your fucking friend. I'll tell you that right now. Because here's what happens. If you learn too much about yourself, there are many moments in life where you need to hit the override button. There's going to be doubt, there's going to be fear, there's going to be instruments in your mind that just simply don't want you to take a leap of faith. And what happens is when you're aware too much of your weaknesses, of your strengths, when you're aware of these things and they're always kind of floating around in your conscious mind, your body will naturally put brakes on to protect you. So there's going to be times where you want to fucking slam that fucking, you want to slam the fucking joystick as hard as you can forward. And there's just a spool of yarn that's just going to choke the gears of the machine that you're trying to whip up. You understand? Because you're just going to be too hyper aware of the doubt. It's going to come into your view and it's going to completely shatter and fuck up your ability to just trounce through shit. And that's the biggest problem because look, learning is not unconnected from movement anyway. So when you're taking a swift and vicious action, there's going to be natural epiphanies and revelations that just settle upon you regardless. So there's zero reason to force it. There's zero reason to force it. And my overarching point is the truth is not fucking practical. It doesn't do anything for you to understand your fucking weaknesses. It doesn't, what does that actually fucking accomplish? Zero. Nothing. All it's gonna do is slow you down. You know what I mean? And on the other end of that fucking coin, it's equally brutal. As soon as you name one of your talents, it's incredible how that shit runs for fucking cover. It's incredible. The minute you start fucking naming the reason why you're good at what you do, you're fucking done. You're eviscerating the magic. You know, I've seen this over and over again in professional sports, big names. Baseball's a fucking good example. Baseball players will go through some of the craziest fucking slumps you've ever seen in your life where they literally just cannot connect the bat to the ball. It's unreal. Like they literally will be up at the plate and just unravel for like 25 games in a row. And you know what the first thing they do? And modern academia is a huge plays a huge fucking part in this, is a huge culprit. First thing they do is go home and start analyzing the mechanics of their swing. Start fucking getting up at the plate. Now they're in their own fucking head, own worst enemy, thinking about the swing. But before the slump started, they weren't thinking about the fucking swing. They were just up there playing freely, having a great fucking time, and all their faculties were funneled and channeled together as a fucking bundled unit, and that's why they were crushing the fucking ball. But the minute they start hyperfixating on the reason why the swing is broken, guess what? It gets even more fucking broken. And then it gets even more fucking broken. And now every time they're up at the plate, they're thinking about every little fucking cue that they can to make sure they're hitting fucking frozen ropes into left center field. And it just ain't fucking working. And that's ultimately what a slump is. A slump is a product of intro fucking inspection. Challenge you to fucking debunk that one. It always happens like that. And it's also because everything is paradoxical. On the flip end of that, when you're on a hot streak and everything you are doing is just clicking all cylinders, people panic. People get very terrified when things are working too well, and they want to stop and reflect on it, and they want to kind of reverse engineer it and understand the inner makings of it. You know what I mean? They want to go into the magisterium and start figuring out how the fuck is this clicking so well. They want to understand it. And then the minute they try to understand the essence of it, it evanesces away from you. It evanesces away from you. It evaporates before your very eyes, and the magic is over in that moment, and it's not coming back until you do a little more living and you figure out how to put your fucking mind to sleep again, and then you get on another hot streak. And then you fucking ride that hot streak, and then you start evaluating it again, and it disappears. This is the fucking cycle. This is the creation fucking destruction cycle. This is the Kali Yuga. This is the real fucking Kali Yuga. You understand? And look, I'm going to tell you something right now that'll change your fucking paradigm for life, all right? I used to think that masculinity was about searching for the truth. I used to think that. I used to think, I got psyoped. I used to think that the masculine loves to uncover truth under every fucking stone. You know what I mean? Going the deepest fucking galleyways down into the conspiracy holes, trying to fucking uncover what's really going on. It's not the case, my friends. You know what the real fucking masculine imperative is? I'll tell you right now. The masculine don't give a fuck about the truth. The masculine creates the fucking truth. Creates the truth. Taking your pissant ideas inside your mind and bringing that into a visual representation into the world, literally creating truth out of thin fucking air, creating products that people use, creating ideas that motherfuckers will surf into infinity. That's fucking masculine as hell. Taking your fantasies and making them real. The truth doesn't fucking matter because the truth is malleable. There are ideas that will come in and bully inferior ideas. That happens all the fucking time. There are markets, there are products that come in and bully the fuck out of other products and push them down. Because some masculine figure is creating truth. You know what I mean? Look, man, this is a very, very practical fucking philosophy I'm giving you. There are fucking motherfuckers right now 10 years behind me, 26-year-olds, 25-year-olds, devouring my philosophy, who are gonna smoke my ass in fucking 15 years. Motherfuckers who are gonna come in and fucking destroy my philosophy, which is the whole purpose of this game of cat and mouse. You know what I mean? I mean, look, when you're little, one of the greatest phenomenons of being a man in general, especially in your teens, there's idols, there's motherfuckers you look up to when you're young, for sure. And then as you gain power and you stratify and you straddle the line and you start to gain power and you start to climb and get social mobility, one of the most bizarre phenomenons is when you actually can physically see yourself passing those you looked up to just 10 years before. Objectively better than the motherfuckers that you were studying in their respective field. It's one of the most incredible fucking phenomenons, and the way that you surf that is by creating fucking truth. Literally creating reality. What the fuck is more powerful than that as a man? Like, why would you search for truth when you can make the truth? You can change history. You can rewrite history. You can be a victor. You can be fucking triumphant and literally etch your fucking engrave your philosophy in a stone tablature that people will fucking purview for fucking hundreds of years. What the fuck is more powerful than that? What the fuck has the truth done for you lately? Okay, so you went fucking 5 layers deep and understood the real fucking reason why fucking Israel's at war with Palestine? What the fuck has that done for you? Fuck has that done for you? What about etching your fucking legacy in stone? Like, why aren't you out here doing that shit? Because creating truth is fucking hard and it's fucking competitive as fuck. But capitalism gives everybody the equal opportunity to do that. That's why capitalism is so fucking badass. It's a bunch of motherfuckers out here creating truth, creating realities that you live in. Yo, Abraxas, what's up, buddy?
And really, I really liked fucking everything. Especially for me, getting like last month was very spiritual and trying to. I won't get into all that, but I'm sitting here in Brooklyn, New York, place you hate, obviously. Um,
Brooklyn? I bet you I would actually fuck with Brooklyn.
okay. I mean, I'm
Never been
finding
there.
I'm finding dive bars and everything, finding people that I can connect to that aren't too liberal mind. I guess for an easy question, how do you feel about? I guess you mentioned legacy, and I'll tie it to that. Hypnotizing yourself almost to well, hypnotizing yourself one, and then two, I guess using tattoos or something to help fuel your mindset.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I'll tell you right now, I regret the tattoos that I got. I got them when I was like 18. Very impulsive moves on my part. Very, very powerful quote that I have on my arm, but it never needed to be fucking scribbled on my fucking arm. Um, I'll tell you this, man. Look, men are an offensive species, okay? And we are impalers. We impale things that are in front of us. We impale obstacles, which is why I am disgusted by the prospect of fucking introspection and self-reflection. Because look, if you're a smart cookie, you're gonna get real world feedback as you're taking action, which is 100 times stronger than fucking introspection. I've really never sat in a room and tried to fucking understand myself, but I likely have a better understanding of myself than 99% of people, just because I've lived at the edge for so long. So look, let's reverse engineer some wisdom here. They say defense wins championships, right?
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's the thing about life. You don't have to win championships or get gold medals to live a phenomenal apex life. Because look, most men are going to travel the whole miles they need in life. It's just that the elites, the very, very, very top, the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme, the most successful motherfuckers cover every last little fucking inch and micromillimeter. That's the separation. The separation is actually a lot closer than you think. It's just the guys at the top, they don't leave any base uncovered. And so my point is just by playing offense, the offensive strategy that I'm fucking bestowing upon you right now of just fucking the introspection and just going forth is that you can get like 95% of the way there and you end up speed running a lot of bullshit. You end up speed running a lot of bullshit and skipping a lot of nonsense and a lot of bosses along the way. And you end up just fighting a more challenging boss who might whoop your ass and slaughter you, but you're not going to die. That's kind of the point. So just by playing offense, you're very vulnerable. You're light on armor. You're light on armor, but you don't need armor. You don't need defense if you can just drop 140 points a night. You understand? If you can just rain threes and drop fucking 140 points a night, you don't need fucking defense.
Okay. I
And
think I get
so
it.
you
Sorry.
get it, you get it, but here's the thing. Life for men is very much about outrunning history. It's about outrunning yourself because look, mistakes are way easier to clean up once you get successful. Then you can go back and sweep up the messes that you created. Now, obviously, you want to create as few messes along the way as possible. But once you do get to the top, you can clean up a drastic trail of mistakes that have been left behind. And that is what most men are afraid to do. Most men are bringing out the broom, they're bringing out the dustpan, and they're cleaning up mistakes along the way. And what they don't understand is they're beveling their edge. Now, this is some crazy fucking synchronicity. I don't give a fuck if anybody on the space doesn't believe me or not, but someone did link me, some billionaire painter put together like a 32 bullet point list of things that insights that he had learned along his path. And number 11, he said something to the effect of what I said yesterday. And I did not see this fucking post. And I put that on my child's life. I did not see the post. It's just the synchronicity was flawless. He said, self reflection ruins your edge. And then someone linked it to me, and I just happened to come up with the same insight, which was unbelievable. This happens all the time. My DM is flooded with passages. People will go deep into the annals of some of these dusty fucking tomes. Philosophers I've never even fucking heard of. And they'll screenshot a passage and be like, yo, you said something similar. And I'll just chuckle to myself. I'm like, yeah, of course. Because when you live at the edge, you're just going to come across these insights. It's inevitable. I never had to read it. You know what I mean? You're just standing at the edge of
Yeah.
time. Of course, I'm gonna trounce upon that shit. So my point is everyone is so obsessed with playing defense and armoring themselves and being cautious. It's like the people who get punished the most in life are the cautious. Are the cautious. The right lane is the most dangerous lane on the freeway for a reason. It's the slow lane. It's the slow lane. It's the motherfuckers who are driving slow. They have no athletic prowess. They have no dexterity. They're not adroit. They're not agile. They're fucking triple boosted. Driving in the fucking slow lane. That's where all the accidents happen for a
And
reason.
all the stress.
And all the fucking stress because the people who are the most cautious in life get, when they get dealt damage, it comes double and triple. It comes double and triple. Because I do believe the thing you are most cautious about preventing. This is written in a man's destiny, okay? In the male blood and the male hardware. If you are a man, I promise you, subconsciously, you will 100% naturally gravitate towards making your worst fear come true. Whatever your worst fear is as a man, at some point during your journey, you will have a stare down with that fear. You have to. You have no choice. There's something in your subconscious. It's so existentially tormenting to hold on to that every man eventually goes into a fucking showdown with their worst fear. And that's why I've always said you got to be careful what you fear because you will make it come true. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I've never seen a single man on earth not be able to avoid this. It's like the guy who tries to design his entire life around not getting cheated on. Garen fucking Teed gets cheated on. The universe is so counterintuitive, by the way, which is why life is so majestic and interesting. Because there's just so many things that just genuinely don't make sense. There's such a reconciliation of opposites, which is why life is so exciting. Because you can chase these thrills forever, and you'll never reconcile them. You know what I'm saying? It's like playing tic-tac-toe. It's like you're almost just gonna always be in a stalemate with the universe. Like you ain't winning tic-tac-toe with the universe. And back onto my point about life and about playing offense, the reason why I really don't like the game of chess, and the game of chess is not a game of life at all, is because chess penalizes ADHD. Chess penalizes ADHD. When I play a game of chess, I get so fucking bored that I'll just start doing really grandiose moves. I'll just do stupid shit after a while because I just want to see if I can fucking get lucky. And it'll work like 1 out of 10 times. It'll literally work like 1 out of 10 times, but life doesn't work like that. Life often rewards the inability to focus on patterns. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of power in pulling the plug on a mess that you've created. Whereas in chess, if you create a mess for yourself, you pretty much ain't getting out of it. You know what I mean? Like in the game of chess, if you fuck up early or you fuck up mid game, whatever, chances that you unbury yourself are pretty slim to none. But life's the opposite. Life rewards you heavy sometimes when you bury yourself big. When you bury yourself big and pull the plug and try to figure out the mess that you've created. And so my point is offense is always the name of the game. Sometimes it's not about salvaging the position that you're in. Sometimes it's completely just being a cat chasing a fucking laser, having a stormy mind, and just fucking rocking anyway. I've said this before, and I do believe this, by the way. I think the peak male experience is having a very healthy body and having a very stormy mind. Like, I don't think clarity of purpose, I don't even think clarity of mind is necessary for men. I believe that the most thriving men on earth are their mind is very, very clouded. And I think it's bombarded constantly with stimulation and dopamine and entertainment. And their mind is under constant fucking attack. And that allows them to live from the heart. It allows them to tap into the beatings of the heart, which will take you further than any little intellectual head game that you can play with yourself. And so there's guys who just constantly need a quiet mind, a quiet environment to work. That's chicken shit. That just means you don't have enough on your plate. I can't tell you the last time I could even fucking think straight. Like when I flipped open my phone just now to turn on this spaces, I had not one iota of a skerrick of a fucking clue what I was going to say. And once I start talking, my heart starts doing the talking. My mind is clouded like 24 hours a day, which is just the way I fucking like it.
And I think that works better when you think of like Elon Musk. He's a billionaire with 4 or 5 companies and all that. He has a lot going on. And it's like,
He's psycho.
but he's not thinking about it, you know? It's like you can't beat somebody that's thinking too hard, or you'll lose to somebody that's not thinking that hard.
10,000%. 10,000%. That guy doesn't get enough credit. That guy is swarmed and under attack 24 hours a day, and he loves it. You gotta love it.
Yeah.
That's why I've always said you gotta be a sicko to win. You do. You have to be a sicko. Very, very sick puppy to win. That's just how it is. It's just nature rewards that shit. Anyway, bro, thank you. I'm gonna keep it moving. Sun Max,
Yo, can you hear me?
what's up, bro?
Yo, what's good, bro? Can you hear me, brother?
What's
Sweet,
yes? Go
sweet.
ahead.
Man, I had my first, so I'm kind of circling back to your starting point on just, it is amazing seeing the mom kind of breastfeed. It is crazy experience, but I just want to see how you're kind of raising your little ones. It's the first for me, obviously, with my son. I'm I don't know if I'm pushing him too hard. Like I'm putting him on his stomach and trying to have him get after it. But, the mom sees him crying, trying to get him off right away. So I'm kind of seeing how you're navigating that whole dynamic and how quickly you're pushing your kid. I don't know if you have a son or a daughter, but that's kind of, I wanted to pick your brain on that and see how quickly I should be pushing him or just, take my foot off the pedal a little bit, let him grow up first. And I don't know, just kind of want to hear your thoughts on that.
I have a son and I'm having another one, but yeah, man, appreciate it. Kids make it easy on you, man. When that trust is established, they make it so easy on you. They're very fucking compliant and they work very synergistically. There should be zero friction between a baby and the parents whatsoever. And if there is, like I said, you got to go back and trace the thread into the maze and figure out what the fuck's going wrong. And typically, it's because one of the parents wants a break, and there's no breaks. Like I said, it's for the mother, especially when they're very young. It's literally a 24-hour gig, never fucking ending. And when you talk about pushing him, I mean, look, man, I said this on the other spaces, and I will die on this fucking hill. I do ultimately believe that nature is 1,000 times more potent than nurture. There's only so much guidance you can give to a child. You have children not to make a clone of yourself, in my opinion, but you have children so they can have their own unique experience on this earth. And it's very bizarre, in my opinion. It's one of the most bizarre human traits that is very, very prominent. I've seen almost every family go through something like this where a parent wants their child to be something that the child just doesn't want to fucking be. And I find that to be extremely fucking weird. I have never had the human experience of wanting something more for someone than they've wanted for themselves. Cannot resonate with that whatsoever, because I find it to be very intrusive and I find it to be playing God. Who the fuck are you to interfere with someone's life path and say what they should be fucking doing? You know what I mean? Even like I got a DM yesterday, some guy was lamenting to me about how his younger sibling is a loser. His younger sibling is languishing at home. He's just fucking, his parents didn't push him hard enough when he was a kid. And I was like, dog, who the fuck are you? Like what the like if the only people who start to veer their eyes towards what other motherfuckers are doing are people who are stuck themselves. That's what I want to say. That's the fucking underlying psychology. It's like when a motherfucker gets stuck himself, he'll start to look at his siblings, his friends, his peers, start criticizing their style and method. And what I think he's trying to do really subconsciously is he's trying to get them kickstarted so they can be the guinea pig. He wants them to fucking try something so he can see what the results are. And then he can see if he can proceed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, it's very, every, blood is king. Blood is king. Like, there's some forces of nature that are so powerful, it doesn't matter how much you brainwash them, how bad their upbringing was, how far you bury them into the core of the fucking earth. Some seeds are just destined to grow no matter what. And it's like, you can talk about upbringing, you can talk about hostile environments, you can talk about all this shit till you're blue in the face. But the reality is, some life forms are just so goddamn tenacious that they're going to figure out and become what they were supposed to be no matter what you put them through, no matter how many hoops of fire they had to go through in their youth. You know what I mean? You could put them through Barnum and Bailey's fucking circus. They're still going to figure it out. I've seen this over and over again, and some of us are a little bit more unfortunate and they won't. But that's nature. That's the circle of life. And so I, as a respecter of nature, allow people to learn the lessons they need to learn. Who the fuck am I to interfere on someone's path and teach them lessons they're not ready to fucking learn? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. And I think that it would bring us a lot of peace if we stop turning our eye to what other motherfuckers are doing and focus on ourselves. Because you can only lead by example anyway. I mean, it's just the fucking stark reality of the situation is you can only lead by example. And if motherfuckers want to jump on and fucking are inspired by that, then fucking wonderful. But if they're not, man, I don't believe in imposition. I don't believe in imposing anything on anybody. It's a fucking absurd because then people lash out. It's kind of like I had a tweet that I deleted because I didn't think the fucking common populace even deserved to hear this, but it's true. I said you cannot instill a work ethic into a kid as a parent. And that's a fact. Like, if a kid is naturally defiant and rambunctious and rebellious towards authority, there's parents out there who think forcing them to rake leaves and do chores is somehow going to magically comport their personality to have a good work ethic and build discipline and character. It's not true. If a kid is naturally miserable doing chores, raking leaves, whatever the fuck you have them do, and you are forcing them to do that in the name of discipline and character, I'm telling you right now, they're going to start lashing out behind your back. They're going to start fucking being rebellious behind your fucking back as a parent. You're going to start seeing character patterns, and the defiance is going to bleed out in one way or shape or form. Now, some kids obviously have a natural predilection for that shit, and that's great. That should be fostered. But I'll be damned if I'm gonna sit here and make my fucking kids do fucking slave labor in my house when they ain't naturally cut out that way. That doesn't build jack shit. All that does, yet again, it goes back to my point about breaking trust, severing trust. And that's all you have with your kids. It's like once you fuck up your trust with your kids and you start forcing them to do shit that they're not designed to do, they just end up resenting and hating you. And then you lose all of your authority anyway. So it's like ruling with a fucking iron fist sometimes, especially in a household, is a massive fucking mistake. What's up, Nate?
Yo, what's up, Brute? I
What's up, buddy?
um I was thinking, like, I see you delete tweets sometimes, and I know you're a huge fan of just letting the past go, just whatever's there, just leave it behind. I'm curious why you delete tweets.
Keeps my audience on their toes, man. Sometimes I like to reward the people who have notifications on, like my loyal core, my diehards, and I just sometimes I'll throw out some fucking glitter real quick. Yeah, man, it's just kind of a way of gamifying the platform and making it a little bit more fun. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll just fucking litter a gem in the fucking street, and then I feel like just sweeping it up.
Totally, yeah. I think actually that leaves even more of an ability, or even more of like a rareness. I think people screenshotting it actually does something even more, and then they're anticipating that. So I totally see that.
Yeah, man, it's kind of like a fucking pop-up shop. You know, it's like just dropping a random fucking flashbang, and those that were fucking fortuitous enough to put their hands on it get it, and those that weren't. Much how life works. You know what I mean? But then sometimes that works in reverse. Sometimes they say, early bird gets the worm, but second mouse gets the cheese. So it all depends. What's up,
Yo,
Apollo?
what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. Yeah, man. Like I've been following you for a while. This is the first spaces I just kind of joined. Um, and yeah, you just said some shit. Like I'm very like your whole. I don't know if you call it a philosophy or whatever, but your whole sort of way of thinking and just way of articulating and everything is very sort of unique to me. Just because it very much mirrors a lot of how I see shit and how I process shit as well. Just sort of that masculine urge to create truth, throw yourself into the fucking mess and figure it out, fucking fist swinging and everything else like that. But like I was sort of going through, I don't know if I guess, yeah, slump. That's a perfect word to call it, something of a slump. Just like a really small sort of quick one that came about. Jumped on the spaces, was listening for like maybe 30 seconds. Immediately just like snapped out of it. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, I remember. You know what I mean? I remember like how I normally think. And I guess I just wanted to sort of, pose a question out there. Not because I think you specifically even have the answer, but just as an interesting question. Um, that mindset of like, not dulling your edge, not beveling your edge, I think you call it, and just fucking fist swinging and just going out there, guns blazing. Like as a man, like yes, that is when I'm at my peak. That's when like fucking I'm just making things happen. I'm not fucking introspecting. Like everything is just popping off. I make a fucking mistake, I don't care. Like that's where I love to be. But like inevitably, there like something always just what I mean. Like there's always like I always trip up. Like always. And I just want to know, like, do you experience that too, and like how long? Because I basically came to this idea that fuck, if that's gonna happen inevitably, then I guess the real solution is figuring out how the fuck do I get back up from it as quick as possible. Do you get what I mean? So
Well, that's how life works.
yeah,
Like, let's go to the macro level for a second. Let's look at anyone who has basically life hacked their way around normalcy and homeostasis. Look at motherfuckers who have immense fame. Let's look at fabled motherfuckers who are the best at their craft. Let's look at fucking professional athletes, people who have billions of dollars, right? Those people hacked the game of life because none of that's natural. Fame is not natural. Billions of dollars is not natural. Being widely fucking renowned is not natural. And if you've noticed, anyone who has sustained a prolonged period of euphoria or someone who has indulged in pleasure for too long inevitably breaks something within themselves. And this is why I've always said, you look at these archetypal figures, look at like a Mike Tyson, these motherfuckers who had all this wealth and success. There is a point in time where they end up renouncing materialism and they want to go back to primal source. You know what I mean? That motherfucker was sitting in cages petting pigeons and shit after nuking like 500 mil. I think Don King stole a huge portion of his money. But most people don't know Mike Tyson actually torched $500 million and went
Yeah,
broke, and went
yeah.
broke, and he
I
did
like,
it, and he did it on
just to,
purpose.
yeah, man. That's the thing. Like, just to
Go
add
ahead.
in there, the first time I made like real money in my life back in 2021, just like a crazy sort of a fucking whirlwind experience. You know what I mean? Where I just like ran out the mill with some of my friends I was doing the business with, and like the inner storm that kind of came with that. You know, long story short, I basically fucking torched all of that shit. You know what I mean? Went back to dead zero. And it was like it was kind of an experience that I had to learn that I wanted to do that. You know what I mean? Like, and kind of something you referenced earlier as well about the anything that you fear the most as a man, you have to come in contact with that. I think part of it is that as well. It's like a part of me was like, wait, I'm scared to lose this shit. No, I have to lose it, type of
Well,
thing. Yeah, go ahead.
so the lesson in what you just told me, and the lesson from what I was telling you about fucking Iron Mike and all these other motherfuckers is this. It's that stagnation at any level is what kills you. So
Yeah,
my point is, you can you can reach the firmament and you can be as successful as you want, but if you stagnate up there, it's a level of misery that you don't
but
even wish on your worst enemy.
how do you not stagnate? That's the I think that's the source of what I'm asking.
Well,
How do you
that's
like
dude, that's the
not?
game of life is you never arrive, man. There's no destination. Like you always have to take on the next challenge. I mean, this is why I've always flirted with juxtaposition because even when I've come into the most royal fortunes in my life, I never
Mm,
coasted. That's when I would train even harder. That's when I would do two a days in the gym. Like
yeah, yeah,
when I was worth 8 figures, I was doing two a days. I was still snatching 300 pounds. I was betting fucking millions of dollars. I'd fucking work on my athleticism. There's
yeah,
always the next fucking challenge. And I think a lot of people want to get rich to make their life easier, but you should actually want to get rich to make your life harder.
yeah,
Your life should be
yeah.
getting more your life should be getting more challenging as you get older, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a fact. I think that's a fact, and I think you just made me realize it is. There's some inner complacency, and maybe a bit of it is fear as well. Like you said this earlier as well. The when shit is going in your favor, there's something scary about that because you're like, oh shit, if this keeps on going in my favor, you know, like, and maybe it's sort of a self sabotage type of thing. So
Look,
I think that's fair to do.
let me give you some more wisdom about how life works, especially
Mm,
for men. There's a lot of if you look at the common consensus on Twitter, especially amongst like the younger ecom guys, they'll tell you wake up every day, grind, dial in your fucking routine, work hard, put on your fucking hoodie, fucking sit at the laptop, fucking carve out hours, put in the time. That's literally horrendous advice. Okay.
yeah, I know that.
90% of the time as a man, you're actually languishing. You're actually just toiling, kind of just floundering, kind of like not knowing what the fuck's going on. And then the 10% of success for all men comes from just that dead sprint where like you just leave it all on the line. Like I'm not joking you. You can grind every fucking day all you want throughout the course of a full calendar year. The only spurts of gains and momentum you're really going to make is in about 10% of those margins is where you're really going to all your firepower is going to empty anyway.
Mm,
So it's like as a man you're really just kind of toiling all the time and you have to get comfortable with that. And then
yeah,
one day you just kind of find a nook and cranny and you find an exploit and that's when you just fucking empty the fucking clip. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like you just leave nothing in the chamber. You expend everything you fucking got, and then you hit the reward.
Yeah, for sure. No, that fucking that's a bullseye right there, man. That's some real shit. I
Like
appreciate it.
success, yeah. Like success is not supposed to be happening every day.
Yeah, of course, of course. And that
I
I
don't know
mean
what
that
the fuck people are thinking. Like
it's like
people
the
are,
thing it's like the thing that I said
yo,
about
yo,
like
yo,
the
yo,
20.
yo, yo, yo. Don't interrupt me when I'm talking.
Okay,
Um,
no worries, go
what I'm saying is that people equate. Look, the biggest reason why people genuinely want success is because they equate success with changing the way they feel. They fundamentally believe if they have money, women, a machine gun, and a Lambo, that they're just gonna feel good all the time. And what I'm telling people, and I'm tickling the underbelly of the beast when I say this, is I'm telling people you don't want to feel good all the time. That is a level of hell that you actually don't even want to go through. Look at
Yeah,
motherfuckers like Dan Bilzerian. Dan Bilzerian has
yeah,
come out and said he unwove the pleasure mechanism so bad that now he's in almost like a permanently despondent state. He broke
yeah.
something in himself he's never gonna get back. It's
Well,
like, dude, you don't want that. You don't want that. And look, it's all my theories get confirmed with this. When people take TRT, when people take steroids, when people fucking take supplements, when people are obsessed about this shit, I'm telling you, what they're really doing is they want to change the way they feel. They think, oh, if I get on TRT, I'm going to feel good. And somehow by feeling good, everything else in my life is going to fall in place. And that
yeah, for
is a
sure.
fucking lie.
For sure. That's 100%, man. Let me ask, like you said, obviously people they chase success to feel good. What would you say you chase success for? Like what is the point that you see behind it then?
Dude, as a man, you chase success for the sake of the
For the sake
functionality
of
of
it.
it.
Yeah.
No, not
Yeah,
even
that's
for the
real.
sake of
Yeah.
it, for having more control over your life. Because power, you beseech power as a man because it just gives you more control over your life. And having
Right.
control over your life is a phenomenal place to be, and you can be miserable in that state. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Being the king,
Yeah.
being the emperor ain't fun, like I said. But you
So it's
also,
agency.
of course,
Is
it's
it?
about
Yeah.
agency.
Yeah.
Fundamentally,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Right.
It's just not being a leaf in the wind being kicked around.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, that's real shit. Yeah. True. That is what it is. It's about, as a man, like you said, creating your truth, being able to say this and that be what happens. That's the whole point of it, right?
Being able to say you did it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man, I appreciate that. You've cleared up a lot of shit for me. You're a wise guy.
For sure, man.
Sure, thanks.
What's up, Sean?
Hey, what's up, bro? Yo, my girlfriend's 8 months pregnant right now, and I was telling her last night the same shit you were saying just in the beginning of the space. How like these women have super fucked up pregnancies where they're like hair's falling out, they're getting gestational diabetes, all this fucked up shit. And I was just telling her like, hey, that's nature's way, probably saying that this shit is not meant to be. You
Mm-hmm.
know, this shit is not
Mm-hmm.
meant to be. And modern medicine is just so advanced now that we're just gonna allow, everyone to have this baby and have this child when, back then it'd probably be like kill off the women or the child in some way. But, I also wanted to
Yeah, man.
ask, I'm 23, she's 8 months, and we just wanted to know, like, based on your experience, if you have any advice for how to go about my life while also like pursuing my purpose and everything with this baby on the way.
I have zero advice for you. That'd be a huge disservice. That's the whole point, man, is once that baby comes out, the instincts kick in and you just know what to do. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like I didn't send my girl to fucking Lamaze classes. I fucking orchestrate. Look, I've taken two women through pregnancies at this point, okay? All the way through A to Z. I designed the entire fucking pregnancy, and let me tell you something. There was no morning sickness. There was none of the fucking old wives'
Yep.
tale they tell you about how troublesome pregnancy is, because their nutrition was on point. I had them fucking on a rigorous fucking regimen, and it was a fucking pleasure. There was zero issues, no pain, no suffering. It was a very, very easy thing. And that's my fucking point, is like anyone who's struggling in these domains is just out of touch with their fucking instincts. Like as a dad, when my first son was born, it was the next move was just easy. You just listen to your fucking body. Like adapting to what they need is just so simple, man.
Mhm.
There's no intellectualization behind it at all.
Yeah, bro. Like, yeah, sure.
So I urge you to just lean into those instincts, which will kick in hard, by the way. You're like a fucking predator. And by the way, when women are pregnant, they're fucking killers too. Like their heightened awareness is absurd.
Oh, for sure, bro. Like, she's changed so much, especially now that she's like 8 months. And I feel like those instincts are kind of like already kicking in because the baby's like formed already, you know? And she's just getting to the point where that baby's just packing on the pounds and getting ready to shoot out. But
Yep.
yeah, it's
Yep.
like,
It's beautiful stuff, man.
yeah, man, it's like, and she's had a super smooth pregnancy, no sickness, no nothing. And I'm like, hey, like, you got with a good one. So, but
Right on, brother.
yeah, I appreciate that,
Right on, man.
man. So,
Of
good,
course.
bro.
Yep. See tons of new faces. This is good shit. Yo, Matt Hawkins. What's up, bro?
What's up, Brute? So
What's up,
you
brother?
said in that first question that as a man, you'll always make your worst fear come true, or you're always going to come face to face with it. How do you prevent yourself from making that worst fear from coming true, or how do you deal with it when you come face to face with it?
Dude, you don't want to prevent it. That's why, like, when people talk about the advice of facing your fears, that's nonsense. You don't ever have to face a fear directly. You'll face it obliquely. As you're going through life, you're naturally gonna come across the things that fucking scare you. Like, you don't have to do these surrogate measures, is what I'm trying to say. Like, motherfuckers will have a fear of heights and they feel like they gotta go jump out of an airplane. Nonsense. Like, you don't, people, you can't, life is weird, man. You can't even, sometimes you can't even attack the direct experience head on. Like, everything is lateral. Everything is about moving up the ladder, and then you just kind of gather experience and you accrue wisdom and you accrue knowledge and you accrue weapons along the way. It's just kind of how it works. It's like, it's very fucking weird like that, dude. Like, nothing can really be attacked head on. Like, even in like the pickup game, okay? Like, this is actually a really good example. Motherfuckers are like, because the average man is terrified of female beauty, right? The average man is severely intimidated by a very gorgeous woman. They freeze, they fucking mumble, they stutter their words and shit when they talk to a beautiful woman. But here's the deal. You could do fucking 5,000 cold approaches to try to remove that mechanism, and you're never gonna get there doing cold approaches. You know how you fucking smash the fuck out of your intimidation of female beauty? By being the best at your craft. Like, if you just become the best at what you're doing, there's just a confidence that kind of settles on you to where you just kind of wake up one day and you're like, female beauty? What the fuck is that? Like, that shit pales in comparison to the talent and skills that I got. You know what I'm saying? Like, women should be terrified of my talent. It's not the other way around. You should be fucking terrified that I'm so goddamn good at what I do. I don't give a fuck how you look. And that's how it works. And so it's like, there you go. You conquered your fear of women just by being the best at what you motherfucking do. And you did it laterally. It was an accident.
Right.
And that just kind of magically goes away. Like, that's where confidence comes from, man. You think fucking, I mean, yes, some of these billionaires are nerds, but you think these guys who are become the best at what they do, you think they give a flying fuck if a woman's a 10? They're not fucking stuttering their words. They didn't do cold approaches. They went a completely different path. Many things in life are like that. That's fucking cosmic wisdom.
Okay, so it's normal to come in contact with them, and coming in contact with those fears just gives you experience, right?
Or you just fucking level up so hard that those fears just kind of magically get diminished anyway, which is the best route. Like, I cannot tell you any fears that I felt compelled to attack directly. Most of the things I feared when I was a child just magically went away when I got really fucking good at what I do. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
that makes a lot of sense. I appreciate it.
Of course. John, what's up, bro?
Brute, how's it going, man?
What's up, bro? I'm just rolling a cig. Entertain us.
You're good. I'm lighting one up right now too. So, I mean, you talk about like dulling your edge, right? I've found that if I'm in a rut, if I'm just not pushing the ball forward, not seeing movement, my first instinct is to book a flight, to get right. Um, you want to talk a little bit just about like changing your environment, changing what you're around, maybe like the people, just your day to day actions. How much is like changing up what you're doing, just doing like a 180 almost? How much does that make an impact for you?
So I think in some circles they call this pulling a geographic. I'm not a huge fan, believe it or not. I think everywhere you go, you're with you. And I think that you can change your environment every fucking which way. I do believe in sticking your flag in your own fucking soil and kind of dealing with the issues that are at hand without changing locations. That's been a lot more powerful for me personally than just fucking getting fed up and just bouncing to different territory.
And is it because you'd rather just face that on knowing you're in, like knowing you can handle it anywhere? Or
Because I
because what it is
believe,
for me is,
yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. I
No,
was
go
just
ahead.
saying, for me, when I get around new places, it's almost like I'm putting something into the universe, right? I'm like putting action in, even if it's just getting out and going somewhere else. It feels like that's moving the ball to where other things are coming to me. I start attracting things.
Fair enough. I mean, it's somewhat of a hunter's mentality. I understand that. Like, if you're hunting buffalo and buffalo's scarce, go find it. I get that. For me, I have a need to kind of conquer whatever territory I'm in before I move on. Like when I come into a city now with the experience that I have, it's very, very easy for me to nestle in and move to the top pretty fucking quickly. I did it in LA. There was a time period in LA where I had a fuck ton of power. I could get in anywhere at any fucking time. 2 o'clock in the morning didn't matter. I had that place on fucking lock. And then I went to Scottsdale and I did the same fucking thing.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I walk in the
Yeah, yeah.
streets in fucking Scottsdale, I got motherfuckers coming up and shaking my hand like I'm the fucking mayor. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that when you get to a city, you definitely have to have a feeling that that's your fucking local community. But if that's a challenge for you, I think that you do need to establish turf. I just think it's really, really important to establish turf and conquer a domain before you move on.
Yeah, yeah. No, I definitely agree. I'm not saying like avoid it or not go there. I'm more saying bounce out, leave for a week or two, and then come back.
That definitely makes sense to me. I fuck with it.
Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, I just got to say too, like, there's so many things you say where it's just so spot on, where it's like, this is like speaking to me. I think that's testament. Like, obviously, you see everybody in this space. It's like a lot of this stuff is anecdotal, and the haters hate that, but it's so real and it's backed up by this just constant community of everybody who's kind of on the same page. It's pretty crazy.
Appreciate you, bro.